This from Dog Pound Daily. 4 first-year Browns who will be gone in 2023. They say one of the edge rushers, Chase Winovich. Number 3, another one on that defensive line, tackle Taven Bryant. Number 2, Jacoby Brissett. And number 1, Ethan Pocic. Let's start with the defensive linemen. I could see, Tyvis, I could see both Winovich and Bryant being back as rotational pieces. I don't think they're going to be starters. But Bryant's a guy that gets a little bit of penetration as a pass rusher, and Winovich is a guy that, again, if you're going to sub him in as a rotational guy in pass situations, he may be able to give the 2 other guys that might be ahead of him a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Winovich one. I think that if you're coming in with Jim Schwartz and you're running a wide 9, that's catered to a guy like Winovich, a guy who's just a pure pass rusher. Maybe he's not a every down DN, but he's a guy that's certainly on third downs you want in there. He creates mismatches and he just is very effective with his hands. I mean, that's what made him special. As far as Taven Bryant goes, I mean, he hasn't had the best season, but you always need pieces because the guys that's behind, Perrion and who we don't really have the depth at defensive tackle. So we're going to need guys that's in there. Clearly, there was a bunch of misses that we've made in the draft and a bunch of young guys that we were dependent on that haven't taken that step. You need at least a veteran in there that has some presence. I mean, he wasn't great all year, but it was some plays where he kind of, got a little penetration in there. So you need a guy who has done it and is a pro.
As far as the other 2, I think Jacoby Brissett will probably get a look as a 1 or 2 year starter, and he'll get a decent contract. And Pocic may have played himself right out of the Browns' price range because he was pretty good as a starter this year.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. I think Jacoby Brissett, he's earned himself at least the right to start for some team next year. I mean, he handled himself really well. If he came back to the Browns, nobody batted out. We take him all day long, but I think he plays so well that he deserves at least an honest look at starting it for another team. As far as Ethan goes, you're right. I think he definitely played himself out. And on top of that, they will get Nick Harris back. And going into this season, Nick Harris was the guy that was the starter that was slotted to start. So I don't see them bringing Ethan back, especially for the price tag that he's going to carry.